Jack Grealish is set for a sensational transfer to Manchester City this summer, according to multiple sources this morning. It could be a world record-breaking transfer. Harry Kane is still on the agenda as well. Plus, big reports last night seeping across into this morning that Mauricio Pochettino is close to leaving Paris Saint-Germain. All that and much more on the Football Terrace this morning. Hit that like button, hit the share button. Here we go. Welcome back to the Football Terrace this morning. Hope you are all well. Big stories trending across social media, the mainstream media, and of course, football Twitter as well. We're going to delve into them with you. We're going to give you the chance to phone up and have your say. Original Base Annie here with a super chat. Love getting a super chat. First thing in the stream says, long time no see, Terry. How you doing? I'm good, bro. I'm really, really good today. Feeling far more positive, far more energized for a brilliant summer of football ahead. We're going to be there every step of the way, and the Terrace has got some amazing things coming for you. So when it comes to the Terrace, make sure you're subscribing, make sure the bell notifications are turned on, make sure you're signing up to the Discord server as well. But let's delve into this right now. Manchester City are tipped to set a new British transfer record in their summer pursuit of Jack Grealish. They could pay up to £100 million for the 25-year-old, who we know is amongst one of the best and most impressive performers in the Premier League this season. Part of the reports also suggest that it could be Raheem Sterling that leaves the football club to make way for Jack Grealish in this team. We have seen Raheem Sterling, of course, fall down the pecking order in recent weeks and months at the football club. I think what's really important for City fans to realise as well, and all football fans, is that sometimes you just need fresh blood, regardless of who comes in and who goes out, to rejuvenate a team. Jack Grealish, I don't want to be disrespectful to Aston Villa. He's too good for the level that Aston Villa are playing at. He needs a bigger club. He needs a better move. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. And the club's overwhelming priority this summer at Manchester City is Harry Kane. But the reports this morning from Jamie Spencer suggest that both these deals could be pursued by Manchester City this summer. They could look to dig deep into their pockets to bring both Grealish and Harry Kane to the club. Everybody's still waiting for a genuine stance to be delivered from Tottenham in relation to what's going to happen with Harry Kane. And the Mauricio Pochettino news. Last night, Damasio, one of the most credible sources when it comes to transfer and football news, has stated that it's drawing closer that Mauricio Pochettino could be leaving Paris Saint-Germain. Zinedine Zidane is being lined up as his replacement there. That's a slightly separate story to delve into, the inner goings on at PSG. But with Mauricio Pochettino potentially returning to the Premier League, if he goes back to Tottenham, would that mean that Harry Kane stays? That's the big debate that we want to have with you all this morning. Get your super chats in. Give us your thoughts. Give us your feelings on all of these stories today. James here is a Liverpool fan. Says Grealish is a Poundland Coutinho. Poundland Coutinho, you know. Perlo to United, not going to happen. He's been sacked. Do you know what's really interesting for me about Perlo being sacked? Well-run club. Juve have had a terrible season by their standards. He wins a trophy. He makes the top four. Did he make the top four? I think they made the top four. Yeah, they did make the top four. Napoli drew. But they still sack him. They still sack him. When a club is run well and has genuine ambition to be at the top of the tree, domestically and in Europe, they do not settle for mediocre. That should be a message to everybody this morning. Should be an absolute message to everybody this morning. Low Fat says 100 million for Grealish because he's got 4 years on his deal left. Listen, the Grealish being worth 100 million pounds, everyone's going to have a view. Everybody's going to have an opinion on that. But let's go and see what his current valuation is. I think that's what's always important to look at when it comes to these conversations is let's look at what the valuation of the player is. If you were to look at leading consultancies, we'll look at a couple of them here. I'm going to get the files up in front of me in terms of player valuation. It's always important, in my opinion, to look and focus on what the professionals are actually saying. How much is he valued at by? I'm going to see if there's anyone on here. So he's in the top level list. So he's currently, in fairness, 100 million would be a lot of money. KPMG have him valued at 67 million. There's another consultancy here, 54 million. So 100 million would be massively excessive. But what you probably need to do is delve into and look at the overall deal and look at the overall story. Are they saying it's 100 million because they're including salaries and whatnot on top of that? There is a potential for that as well. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. And just as I say that, I have an agent ringing me. Shall I answer? No, I'm not going to answer it live on air. An agent here is calling me. I wonder what this is about. That news is coming a little bit later on today on the Football Terrace, so stay tuned in relation to that. A lot of people here saying 70 million, 60 million. Yeah, I think 100 million is excessive, but let's be very careful when it comes to these articles. They may be including salaries, bonuses, agent fees, all in one in relation to that. But let's be mindful. How much is he worth in your opinion? And Mauricio Pochettino, set to return to the Premier League, many are saying. Will it be Tottenham? Or do you think someone like Manchester United could swim in the slipstream and do something there? We're going to open up the lines now for you to have your say. We're going to share the link in the live comment section right now for you to phone up to talk about these stories this morning. City fans, we want to hear from you. What do you make of these deals? What do you make of these deals? I really want to hear from you in relation to that. I'm just trying to read through the original article here that speaks about why Jack Grealish would cost 100 million. There's no real reason as to why it would be 100 million. So it's a bit of an opinion piece there. For me, I think I'm going to be really fair. I think they're adding in everything. I think they're adding in transfer fee, bonuses, agent fee, image rights. I think they're doing a bit of a number there on Man City when they're saying the first £100 million player. But that's what the headline says. We want your views. We want your opinions because you're the most important people out there, the viewers. 25 million at a push is what James thinks. My word. Sharek here says, bloody manager roulette happening now. There is manager roulette. How disappointed would you be, Sharek, if all these other clubs change their managers and Man United stay with Ollie? Like, would you be disappointed? That's the question I have for you today. Centurion says, we will get Grealish if Raheem leaves. At this point, I don't see Raheem going anywhere, but the thought of Grealish and Kane to City is mad. I think it's doable. Maybe not all the prices that are being quoted, but forget them for a minute. I think it's highly likely and plausible that City could pull this off. Why not? Best team in the country, best resource, best manager in the world. Why would Harry Kane and Jack Grealish not want to go to Manchester City? There's no logical rhyme or reason for them not wanting to go. And if you can present me with one, phone up and have your say. What was the United news? I'm revealing that later on today, but trust me, Manchester United fans, you're going to be buzzing. The news is huge. It leaves a few other clubs in the mud. There's a little bit of politics involved with it as well, football politics. Can't wait to reveal it later on today. That is coming. First caller this morning. Tom Little's with us. Liverpool fan. What are you saying, mate?
Buzzing to get that Konate deal over the line. Now that it's all said and done. No issues with his medical that people were debating. All done. Quality sense back in. What we needed. Exactly what we needed. But Jack Grealish, he's a quality player, isn't he? I don't think anyone's going to doubt that. But is he the type of winger that City need? Because Phil Foden already does that job. That's why he plays so well there, because he adds a different element. If you bring Jack Grealish in and replace Sterling, then in a sense, teams will know exactly how you're going to go down that left-hand side, because you've only got one way of doing it. So I could see them focusing mainly on Harry Kane. If Grealish becomes available for 70 million, it's a no-brainer. He's that good. But if it's a choice between the two, I think you take Harry Kane. I know Raheem Sterling's had a bad season, especially by his standards under Pep. But what he gives you when he's on form is that different element, that running in behind, that directness, which I think Grealish is more on the ball type, which is what Foden is, which is why we've seen Foden do so well.
I understand that. Do you know what it comes down to, though? I think it's this element of flexibility that's needed with City, and a sense of flexibility in play. And I think Foden and Grealish can both occupy different areas of the pitch, maybe even at the same time. Let's see what they do for England. But equally, change is needed. For City, this is one thing where I think Liverpool went wrong, is they stuck with the same core group for too long. Where if this summer that had just passed, you got rid of one of your main front three and you signed a star to come in, a proper top-level star like a Jack Grealish, that rejuvenation, that competition for places, do you know what it does? It sends a message. It sends a message to everybody. And now Raheem Sterling has been amazing for City for the last 5-6 years. If you sell him and replace him with Grealish, it sends a message to everybody else. I can't rest here. I can't just assume. Do you get where I'm coming from? And I think that's something that Liverpool needed to do. It's why I'm so desperate for us to sign players that are going to challenge Rashford's position. I want Rashford to be worried about losing his position in the team, so he works harder. And that's why I think Jack Grealish should be good for everybody at City.
He could also play alongside De Bruyne in the midfield if he's chasing a goal or something, because he can operate in them midfield roles. I just think City's priority, though, has to be Harry Kane, because they need a striker that they can rely on. That's what they've been missing this whole time. If it comes down to you get Kane or Grealish, you get Kane. If you can get Grealish on top of that, go for it. But I just think with the way City play, in my opinion anyway, I don't think Jack Grealish is the type of player that they need, because it might stunt Foden's development in terms of game time. He wouldn't get as much because he'd give Jack Grealish, if he was played on the left, would play a similar sort of role. And right now, you could argue he's a better player than Foden.
Mate, that's a great question to put out today to everyone who's watching. Who is the better player, Foden or Jack Grealish? Tom, thanks for coming on, having your say this morning, mate. Really appreciate that, buddy. Top man. Thank you. Next up, we're going to go to Mido. Mido is a Man City fan. You're linked with a £100 million move for Jack Grealish. Give me your thoughts.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Give me your thoughts on your links to Jack Grealish, please.
Yes. You're talking about Jack Grealish. He's a very good player, a very, very good player. And I would love him to come to City. The problem is, I don't know if he's worth 100 million. He's a very good player, but it's not. I don't think he's worth 100 million. I think he's worth 70, 80 million. Yeah, and you know, why not we sign him? You know, sometimes we need to strengthen the squad, especially when you have had a good season this season. When you win the Premier League, sometimes you need to strengthen the squad. Sometimes you need to change. You need to fresh something. You know, because other teams will sign players. Liverpool, Chelsea, maybe Man United. So yeah, if we sign, it would be a very good signing. And I feel a bit sorry for Sterling. You know, since the mess against Lyon, he hasn't recovered from that. You know. But listen, sometimes he's not the only player in the Premier League to have a bad season. Other players have bad seasons this season, like Sadio Mane, for example. So, yeah, I feel sorry, but he could come back next season stronger. So I hope so. But if we don't sign, you know, we have to sign a striker, especially. But if we sign a Grealish and don't sign a striker, I don't know if we're gonna play Jesus or a false nine again.
Well, you don't want Jesus. You want a striker because Jesus is not good enough. Simple as straightforward as that, mate. Listen, thank you very much for calling in and having your say.
Thank you.
Appreciate that massively. iTest here says Zidane wants a new job immediately. He doesn't want to rest. United should get him. We should. But remember, why are we not going to get him? Because our club don't care. Let that sink in. When all is said and done, when it settles, they don't care. Marcus Rashford had a Zoom call with Obama. I assume to do with charity work. Well done. Well done. Grealish is better, but Foden has a bigger ceiling, is what South London's finest believes here. This guy really said Pulisic over Foden. Who said that? Did the caller say that? Did I miss him say that? I really didn't hear that. No one thinks Pulisic is better than Foden, do they? Maybe they do. We're going to have KG up a little bit later. Safe's coming a bit later as well. But first, Abs is here with us. What you doing, mate? What you saying?
I'm good, big man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I was thinking about this sort of Grealish thing. I can see Grealish being Man City's top priority. I think they would love to get Kane, but I feel like if they don't get Kane, they're not going to be fussed because they can sort of rotate between a false nine and Gabriel Jesus. And Grealish is sort of like a Pep type of sign-in because I wouldn't be shocked if Bernardo Silva leaves. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like we were saying earlier, change is as good as a rest for a team. And throwing in a Jack Grealish and a Bernardo leaving, a Sterling leaving, Sterling and Bernardo out, Grealish and Kane in, I actually think that improves your team.
Yeah.
That makes City even stronger than they were. It rejuvenates things. It stops people resting on their laurels. It'd be sensational business. If they sign Jack Grealish and Harry Kane, can you see anybody catching Man City next year?
Yes, I can. I still think obviously they'll be the favourites, but I still think there's two strong enough teams that it will make it interesting. But I'll still put Man City the heavy favourites.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of the price for Grealish, it's being put out there at 100 million. Give me your thoughts.
Mate, it's at the end of the day, that's how much value we're at. Obviously, it's crazy for me, but it is what it is. If Villa won 100 million, they won 100 million. If you want him, you have to pay it. If you don't, it is what it is. I feel like we need to stop. We need to go away from all this. Oh, he's not worth 100 million, or he's not worth this. At the end of the day, the club value him 100 million. If you want him, pay it. Pay up. It's as simple as that.
There we go. Listen, Abs, thanks for calling in, mate. Having your say with us this morning.
Dude.
Oh, top man, thank you. Safe's on the show next. What are you doing, Safe? Why is the camera on the floor? You're not going to do no weird things, are you? Okay, cool. What are you saying, Safe?
Hi, Terry. How are you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
I want to say to you that I'm really, really upset about my football club, and I just want to show you something. Yeah, just look at this. How many tops? Yeah, I bought for Manchester United, right? See?
Yeah.
And I bought even some more tops. Yeah, and we're still losing. We lost that final. It's so fucking painful. Sorry for my language. I spent each of these shirts here cost £80, and I'm buying the shirts every single day. And the club performs like this in the final. It's absolutely a disgrace.
Why are you buying the Glazers merchandise, sir?
I love my football club. I support my football club. My highlight is Manchester United. I'm a Manchester United fan. You don't seem to understand this. And they perform this type of disgrace. Look. It's absolutely disgrace. Should I show you some more Manchester United tops?
Go for it.
I got it with a jacket.
Let me see.
Hold on, just bear with me. Look at the pen I am in. Look, each of this money is coming out from my pocket, and I'm a contractor. See, this is my Manchester United top here. That's the jacket of Man United. Okay, and this one I bought last year. And we perform like this in the final. Okay, look at this jumper here. Look, this is a Manchester United jumper here. Look, £80. I spent a lot of money buying this football club, and they play absolutely disgrace. I'm really, really upset. What is your thoughts? Why are you laughing? See, look about this jacket here.
You spent all that money on those Man United. You spent all that money on those Man United kits, and what you really need is a new T-shirt.
I do have a new T-shirt. Don't laugh at me. I do have a new T-shirt.
It looks like you're wearing your dad's T-shirt. That's too big for you. Buy a smaller one.
No, it's small.
Better.
It's small, but I love my football club. You don't seem to understand how much I support my football club, right? It's £80. It's a lot of money.
No,
and 5% goes to Manchester United merchandise. So the Glazers are not getting anything from that money. That's what Lee Gunnar said. Adidas only pays 5 to 10%. And
Right.
we performed that performance. We haven't won the league for the past 8 years.
Hang on. Let's go back. What do you mean the Glazers don't make any money out of it?
The Glazers only make 5% of the Manchester United tops, so that means nothing.
Oh, look, people got to understand Man United have metrics to hit. So every time you buy, when you buy a new Man United kit, of course, Man United don't directly earn money from that individual shirt sale. But the reason they get paid what they get paid by Adidas and their sponsors is for hitting and reaching a certain amount of shirt sales. So they only get the income if they hit the metrics. So it does feed in. It does. Listen, say thanks for calling in and having your
So what's your step now? I mean, how can Manchester United improve? Tell me.
We can't with the Glazers until they change the way we operate. We've gone through this before.
So what can the Glazers sell the football club? You said in October 2019.
They're not going to sell it. They're not going to sell it because people like you keep buying their stuff.
Listen, wait. Let me educate you here, right? In November 2019, he came on the show and he said Manchester United have changed their shares from Class A to Class B. That's what he said.
Right.
You said that there's a possibility that a new owner will buy Manchester United because the club are not making enough money. So why have we not?
Let's just listen, because I'm so tiring. They're only going to sell it if somebody offers an exorbitant amount of money above and beyond the valuation of the club. So yes, it could be sold, but no one's offering them that money. So it's pointless. It's so pointless talking about it.
I know. Terry, I'm in pain. Look, this is almost £500 I spend on my football shirts. And when we perform like this,
stop spending the money. Give it to charity. Give it to a food bank. Don't give it to Man United.
But Man United is my livelihood. It's the club that I grew up with.
So
it's the Champions League. It's the Champions League we grew up with. It's the league titles we won.
Are they respecting you?
No, they're not respecting me.
Then don't give them your money. You have a choice. You're not being forced into giving them money, are you, Safe?
Yes, but it's the kits that I like to buy. It's something that I want to buy during the winter.
Yeah, then don't moan at them then. That's on you. That's your choice. Own it as a man. Listen, bro, thanks for coming on and having your say. Top man. Thank you very, very much indeed. Yeah, listen, I always hear that argument with sponsorships. Shirt sales don't actually put money in the Glazers' pockets. They do. But there's a layer in between that's being ignored. If Man United didn't sell another kit, you really think Adidas are paying up? No, my word. Terry getting a degree about Man United economics. I love it. KJ's with us now this morning. What are you saying, KJ?
Yeah, Terry, you want to see my shirt collection?
Oh, I want to see anybody's shirt collections. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Man went through his whole collection. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's safe. I love you, man. Went through his whole collection and said, why am I paying this money for them just to do this in the final? Yeah, brother, I feel you're paying, fam. You know what I mean? I feel you're paying.
I don't. I have no sympathy for people that are still pumping money into the club but still moaning about it every day. It just drives me insane. You have a choice. You've made your choice. Own your choice. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? I've stopped paying for Man United stuff now. It's just like, it is what it is at the end of the day. I haven't worn my United shirts for ages out of process and out of just my own kind of moral standpoint of I can't be asked to.
I just hope. I'm just glad Safe didn't start showing me his underwear and stuff. Like that's what I'm grateful for this morning. So
that is true. Right, right, Jack Grealish. I don't see Man City paying 100 million for Jack Grealish because that's not in their business model. They've not really done that, and they don't do that for a reason. They know if they start to spend ridiculous amounts of money on any player, that teams will hike up the price just for them, similar to what happens with Man United. Because we've paid it ridiculous amounts of money for people. They're like, all right, cool, you've got peas. Let's go do it. That's the reason why you haven't heard Sheikh Mansour come out and say, we can do things in the market that other clubs can only dream of, like a certain bean head for Man United, innit? But yeah, Jack Grealish to Man City, though, if they do get it done, it won't be 400 million. It'll be something less. but he would be an amazing addition to their squad. And Tom was talking about Foden's game time. I don't see that going down anytime soon because he plays a lot on the right-hand side for Man City anyway. Jack Grealish plays mainly on the left. Having Foden and Grealish on the same wings or on opposite wings. And then if they add a striker on top of that, like if that's Kane or Lautaro Martinez or whoever, oh man, it's peak. It's peak for the league. It's very peak for the league, man. But yeah, I don't see it getting done for 100 M's.
Yeah, I'm not worried. Yeah, the 100 million thing is the headline. Most people don't think they're going to pay that much, but I do think with what's going on with Raheem Sterling, I see Jack Grealish happening. If Raheem Sterling was still firing on all cylinders, scoring week in, week out, being a thorn in the side of his opponents, I would maybe dismiss it slightly. But the fact that his form's been off for a while, and on top of that, there is that, on top of that, there is that element of like needing to rejuvenate a squad to keep them winning. It feels right to me. Jack Grealish, I know he hasn't publicly said anything, but it feels to me like he does want to leave Villa and play at a higher level. That's all it comes down to. He wants to play at a higher level. So it kind of feels, it sort of feels more than doable from my point of view. And Jack Grealish will just absolutely kill it. He'll absolutely kill it at Man City with the way they play football, the freedom, the space, the quality around him, how they're coached. Jack Grealish will prove to everybody that he's one of the best attacking and creative players in the world. Yeah,
definitely, man. Like what Pep could do with Jack Grealish is very mad. I'm actually very fearful for with the evolution of that guy, man, because I love Jack Grealish. I think he's a fantastic player, and when you have a coach like Pep who takes your attributes but elevates them to another level, it's just to be fair, it's just amazing to see. Like what he's done with Raheem Sterling is just amazing. You can't even say anything bad about it. Like if Raheem Sterling leaves, we are not going to see the same levels that he produced for Pep. We won't. You know what I mean? There's a lot of players that when they leave Man City, you don't really see the same levels because Pep has got them in a different kind of mindset and a different way of playing.
Yeah, so of course.
And give him Jack Grealish, who's got a lot of talent. Give him Foden, and give him any other players that he's looking at, and we're in trouble.
I hear that. In the other news today, Mauricio Pochettino close to leaving PSG. It's been announced in the last 5-10 minutes that Allegri has now re-signed a new 4-year deal to be the Juve manager again. So he's gone there.
You asked me when Foden played on the right wing. Foden played on the right wing for Man City a few times. I don't see why people are.
Oh yeah,
upset.
I wouldn't worry about too much about that, bro. But Allegri's gone back to Juve. He's turned down Real Madrid, who are now looking for a new manager. Zidane is tipped to go to PSG. Mauricio Pochettino is tipped to leave. Do you want to see Man United get involved in this, or do you think that it's destined that Pochettino is now going to come back to Tottenham?
Man United ain't touching a new manager until Ollie fails in their eyes, and failure to them is not making top 4. Until then, Ollie will remain here. So there's even no point of United fans even thinking or dreaming that a new manager is going to come in, because the remit is being met, and he's done it 2 years in a row now. The only real thing that Ollie Outers can hope for is if we literally seriously drop off for next year. But if we do that, can the new manager rescue the season? You know what I mean? Like, can he do a Tuchel and rescue
that? Are you not worried though? Are you not worried as a Man United fan that there's suddenly all these good high quality managers available on the market, and we could end up missing out on all of them again?
Yeah, I am, but at the same time, it's what we're used to. It's not nothing new. We've missed out on Pep, we missed out on Klopp, and it's highly frustrating. But this is what our club is, and I've just personally gotten used to that. And there will be another manager available at some point. And I feel like after Ollie, Man United will go out and buy a manager. When I say buy, I mean go take him from another club, pay compensation, and get him in that way. It is what it is. Like, until the Glazers are gone, until Woodward is gone, until Arnold is gone, Matt Judge, this is what we have to expect now. And it's very frustrating.
Yeah. I hear you on that completely. Listen, Cage, thanks for calling in, mate, and having your say this morning. Really appreciate that, buddy. Top man. Thank you. You can phone up and have your say. Jack Grealish to Man City. We want your thoughts. We want your feelings. Get your super chat questions in as well to us. Next on the show, Francisco is here. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, Terry. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. What do you want to say, mate?
Do you know what? I was just thinking about this. I feel like Pep is almost trying to recreate that Barcelona team, that famed Barcelona team that he had with like Villa, Pedro, Messi, because he's getting all the really silky dribblers and he's just going to tear up the league again, just outplay everyone, just possession football. It's going to be crazy just to think about it if he genuinely secures Jack Grealish. And then if he brings in a striker as well on top of that, just like KJ say, I'm fearing for the worst. I'm actually hoping Liverpool somehow create some sort of installment plan or something and try to snatch Grealish away from them, because I don't see how we manage to stop them short of them getting a savage injury or something next season, really and truly.
Yeah, it's looking. Rivals should be very nervous about what Man City are doing right now. That's the key point to me. They should be so concerned, worried, and frustrated in relation to that. What can Liverpool do to respond, though? What do you want to see from Liverpool this summer to respond to these sort of the transfers that you're seeing, or rumours at least that you're seeing from City?
That's the. To be honest, we need a marquee signing. Ideally, in a dream world, I want Mbappe and to keep Mane and keep Firmino, keep Salah, because at the end of the day, we got competition then, we can rotate from the bench, etc. And I feel like we can put a lot of pressure. But I feel we also need a proper midfielder to replace Ronaldo, because we're going to really miss him in the upcoming seasons. So we need to replace him. I think we need a proper centre-back in case, another one of ours get injured. So we need to make at least maybe 2 or 3 proper signings. We need a proper striker as well that can finish his dinner, because as good as Jota is, we need someone else that can maybe pull in 20 plus goals a season. So we need to make quite a few good signings, maybe 1 or 2 marquee signings. So it's going to be tough. We need to offload some deadwood and bring in some proper players that will compete for the first 11.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be the transfer window for so many teams this summer is going to be interesting. It's going to be there's going to be some big signings. Man United are going to pull off some big ones regardless of what people think. Chelsea are going to sign a big player or two. Lukaku's moving ever clearer and closer. It's going to be amazing to see how things actually happen. Even with Arsenal, the business they're looking to do, it's going to be intriguing to see which signings come in, who settles, who does well. And every year, we see a signing go, wow, that's going to be amazing business. And then it doesn't work out that way, and vice versa. But Francisco, thanks for calling in and having your say, mate. Really appreciate that, buddy. Thank you. Next on the show, Max is here. Max is a Man United fan. What are you saying, Max?
Hi, Teddy. How are you?
I'm very well. What do you want to say, buddy?
Teddy, I don't think Grealish will leave Villa for some weird reason, in my opinion. Is there any concrete, sources that say that he will leave?
I don't know. In terms of
but it's just hypothetical.
No, what I mean is, when you say credible, I mean, how credible do you want? When I say I don't know, what do you mean by that?
I mean, for example, not Fabrizio Romano credible, but at least a well-known journalist close to Aston Villa telling us that, at least that credible, if you know what I mean.
No, to be fair, you're right in relation to that. But why? Aside from that, why do you think he's not going to leave?
I don't know. I think the reason he doesn't want to leave is, I think Aston Villa will sell him a project. I think the only reason that in the last few years he wanted to leave is maybe because of the fact that he wanted to play in Europe. And let's be honest, Aston Villa has improved a lot this season, and I think if they maybe buy a lot more players this summer, Aston Villa may convince him to stay. And I know it's unlikely, but yeah.
I think, Max, you're a Man United fan, right?
Yeah.
I think you're talking through hope. I think that's you hoping and praying that he doesn't go to City, rather than believing it, mate. Listen, Max, great call. Thanks for coming on, having your say. Top man. Thank you very much, buddy. We've got Abs with us now. Abs, what you saying, mate? Morning.
I'm saying good, bro.
Yeah, I'm very good. What do you make of this news this morning? First of all, Poch back to England, maybe, and Grealish to City. I want your thoughts, bro.
Oh, Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish for me is probably one of my favorite players to watch outside of Chelsea because he is just everything you dream in a footballer. Not to mention his output's also improved, which is always nice to see. So stats and eye test merchants can't really diss him, to be honest. But if he went to Man City, it's curtains, to be honest. I mean, any real top border that Man City sign now, because for me, they're already walking the league. They already walked the league easy. They're probably going to cook us tomorrow in the Champions League final. And I just think that if they sign Jack Grealish, they'll be able to do whatever they want because he's of a dying breed of incredibly talented footballers who doesn't need the stats sheet to prove how good he is. And for me, if they bring him in, he'll take them up to a new dynamic. He'll give them, he'll give rival fans something to worry about because now Pep can basically say, you know what, 1 week I'll play Foden, next week I can play Grealish, and they both offer you two different things in terms of how they play because, for me, I really, really hope it doesn't happen. I would love Grealish at Chelsea. He personally would. For me, in terms of scoring and creating more chance, he'd actually help us. With Pochettino, you know what? I can see him coming back to England. I'm not sure he'll come back to Spurs because if you remember the way he went out, he wasn't exactly, fair enough. They were underperforming when he left Tottenham, but it wasn't a case of they were underperforming severely to the point where, they were looking like they weren't going to make the top 4 or top 6. I think it's just a case of, if he comes back to England, I doubt he'll go to Tottenham because he's experienced that, element of trophies. Daniel Levy is not exactly the easiest person to work with, as evidently seen with Mourinho and Poch. So if he was to come back to England, I'm not really sure I'd actually go back to Spurs because of that.
Do you know what? I agree with you in from a sense of I don't think he should go back to Spurs. What's really going to change? What you're promised and what actually changes are two different things. And I get KJ's point earlier that Man United won't do it. And that's why I'm angry this morning. That's why I'm in a mood this morning because Man United messed up with not getting Pep or Klopp. They knew Fergie was retiring. They should have had their ducks in a row properly and landed one of those managers. We didn't do it. To now be in a situation where we could, there are again, Poch, top manager on the rise. Zidane, 3 times Champions League winner, won the Liga. I'm not saying we should go for Conte. I don't think he's right for Man United, but there are these top managers that are in the marketplace. Ted Haig could be got. We can improve, maintain the direction that we're on, maintain the foundations that have been built, but move forward. It's so frustrating to see. And I just feel like if Poch does go back to Spurs, they're going to fly straight back up the table next season because he's that good a manager. He may not win trophies, but they're going to be a challenge to us all in terms of the top 4 places. You'll see Juve bounce back and, Juve are going to win the league next year for me with Allegri going back. There's no doubt about it. And it just depresses me as a Man United fan to see we are going to improve our squad this year, but we're still going to be one step behind everybody else when our management is not as good. Abs, how are you feeling ahead of tomorrow night's Champions League final?
Oh my God, I'm actually so nervous. For me, it could go one of 2 ways. It could either we pull out something that, we go win it against all the odds because the odds are not in our favor. And, the Man City, they're the best team in the world, if we're being perfectly honest. So if we play our game, make sure we don't give away too many free chances. And if we take some of our chances and stop being so wasteful in front of goal, then we may have a chance. But as it stands, I stick by it. Man City are going to cook us alive, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Why do you think they're going to cook you alive?
Why not? Mahrez against, against Reece James is a no contest. Foden against Ben Chilwell is a no contest. KDB against, our defense is good, but KDB can unlock absolutely any defense he wants. He's, for me, the best midfielder in the world. It's just they've got too much attacking prowess, but also they're very good at defending. And we won't get that many chances against them because of what Diaz and Stones have been on. So that's the thing that's going to scare me, is that any chance we do end up getting, we're probably going to waste it. And unless we're clinical and make sure we take those chances, we have no chance of winning, if I'm being dead serious and honest.
No chance. I mean, that in itself is a big claim. I think you have a chance. I think what you're doing, in my opinion, is you're sort of you're playing it down, like make ourselves the underdogs. And see, I think you've got a tremendous chance. You've beaten them 2 times on the bounce. You're hard to break down and beat. City have no pedigree of being in a Champions League final as a club, and these things play a part in that. You've got lots of things going in your favor. I think it'll be a lot closer game than you're making out, bro. I get the nerves. I do get the nerves. Abs, thanks for coming on and having your say this morning, mate. Top man. Thank you. Ray is with us now. Ray, what are you here to say, buddy?
Yeah, I'm just here to say Jack Grealish has one thing every footballer has, and that's ambitions. He wants to win things. He wants to win trophies, like Harry Kane. So obviously, Grealish is going to want to City, Man United, Chelsea, or even Arsenal. He's got ambitions. And on the Spurs manager front, I think Spurs is win-win. If they don't go for Poch, they could go for Conte. If Conte comes in and Kane leaves for, just say, 100 million, Conte could bring in Lukaku. A good replacement for Kane. And not exact replacement, but a good enough replacement.
You think?
Yeah. I think he could score goals with Son behind him. The way Son assisted Kane during the season, he could do that for Lukaku. Lukaku needs good support, and he's got it at Spurs. Whether you like Dele Alli or not, whether you like Son or not, they're good players if they come of age, be the best they could be, especially Dele Alli. He could supply Lukaku, no bother.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, it's an interesting take. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the managerial element as well. It truly is. Who's your pick to win the Champions League tomorrow night, mate?
I think the guy before I think he was done playing on purpose, but I honestly think and hope Chelsea win. Obviously, I'm a Man United fan, but I want Chelsea to win, because if City win it, you'll never, ever, ever hear the end of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I do get why, because it'd be, history-wise and everything else. But yeah, it's.
Can I make a point, please?
Yes, you can. That's what you're here to do.
Yeah, Rashford has been getting criticised. Could I ask you, how many times during the season, or even the seasons before, has Rashford played through injuries?
Too many.
Exactly. And I don't think he's gotten the right rest. Okay, any player wants to play every game, but it's up to Ollie, not just Rashford, but it's up to Ollie to say to Marcus, look, Marcus, you need to recover fully before you play. And he didn't do that, in my opinion. I don't think Rashford has had the chance to fully recover. That's not an excuse. That's just facts.
Yeah, I hear you on that, bro. I really do. Listen, top man, thanks for coming on the show and having your say. Really appreciate that, Ray. Thank you very, very much indeed. Let's do some more of your comments coming through here. Rashford should protect his own body. I hear you there. If Lukaku can't get his move to Chelsea, why would he downgrade to Spurs? He likes playing for Conte. Sorry to totally disagree with Abs. We can win. We can win and beat City. Will be tough, but both teams know they will be in a game. I cannot see TT wanting to lose another final. I don't think either will want to lose a final, but I do hear you on that. It's going to be a very close game indeed. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're back later on today with more stories. Big Man United update coming for you as well, amongst other announcements for the Terrace today. So stay with us. Make sure you stay tuned. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless.